So, Coach, year 3.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling like you're kind of coming to your own. This is your recruits. This kind of seems like to be the turnaround season right here.
Yeah, it's gone slow but fast, hasn't it, Dima? Yeah, we've had a heck of a run together. You know, you've been with us the whole time. It's been a tough build, but it's been a rewarding build. There's a lot of things we've done that we're really proud of, from the way we've changed our academics to the way our kids treat people to the way we've recruited, the way we've built the roster. You know, it's no secret to anybody. We've got the hardest schedule in the country for non-autonomy. You know, that's been documented, but with that comes great opportunity as well. You know, so playing Alcorn and Florida State and Tulane and Mississippi State out of conference will be tremendously challenging. And then the Sun Belt West, I think, is going to be unbelievably competitive this year. Got some great teams in that. But at the same time, our roster is built to manage it, I think. We do have depth across the board. We don't have a position that we feel like is not a legitimate high-level Sun Belt position. But we're going to have to play well. We're going to have to play well each week. We're going to be good enough to where if we play well, we're going to have a chance to win. And so I really like our kids. I like the way we've built our program.
So what makes this year different from the last?
From a lot of things. I could probably talk for 2 hours. I guess the first thing is that just the word I guess I would use is continuity. You know, for the most part, you know, we've really only lost one coach since we've been here. We were able to promote from within defensively. So special teams, offense, and defense really going into the third year with our schemes. But also, it's really the first time we've got a complete roster. You know, we'll be at 85 scholarships all the way, and we've got depth throughout. We're playing people that have played in this conference, that have played at a high level. We've got multiple starters back at all positions, and we got young guys that we've recruited that have gotten minutes now. So we're able to sustain injuries now where we couldn't before. And, you know, I feel like we're going to be able to put our best foot forward. I feel like we control our own destiny a little more than maybe we have in the past because of the talent level and because of the depth. And I think we're transitioning from being a coach-led program to a player-led program because of the familiarity and because of the continuity. And because of that, I think we got a better chance than we have in the past.
I know, obviously, it's on the QB battle.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to name a starter.
Yeah.
Just what do you look for in a quarterback to put out there against Alcorn State on week 1?
Yeah, so what we look for in a quarterback, recruiting and everything, is number one is accuracy. I don't think you can create accuracy. I think by the time we get them, I think there's little kids walking around Hattiesburg that can pick up a rock and hit people with it and some that can't. I just think some people have an innate ability to hit what they're throwing at. So number one is accuracy. Number two is toughness. We want them to be both mentally and physically tough and understand that they've got to be a servant leader. That their actions have to impact people in a positive way. After that, we start diving into what redeeming quality do they have that we can build the offense around. Some people are tall and got a rocket arm, you know, like Aaron Rodgers. Some people are more athletic and can move around better, like Lamar Jackson. But you have to have accuracy, you have to have toughness, and we feel like you have to be a servant leader. And after that, we'll build around your skill set.
And did you have kind of an idea, someone kind of in the lead coming out of spring?
Well, the two transfers we brought in came out of spring, a little bit above everybody else. They've solidified that through the summer. I'm gonna say their name in alphabetical order, but Holman Edwards and Billy Wiles. You know, so they both fit those traits. They're both accurate, they're both tough, and they're both servant leaders. I think their teammates would tell you that. They played at a high level through spring, and from what I'm hearing, that they've really done a great job this summer. So it'll be interesting to go through fall camp. I will name a starter. I'm not a cop-out guy as a leader. You know, we'll name a starter at some point before game 1, and we'll go with it. And, of course, how we play from there will determine where we go from there.
Do you think that we could get there against Alcorn State and see that both players play, kind of still trying to decide, or do you feel like you're going to go with one?
I would like to name a starter, and they're the starter. Yeah.
So is there a possibility that we may see a 2 QB scheme at USC?
Well, we would like to name a starter and them be the starter, you know, and them play so well that, you know, they're remembered forever. You know what I mean? That's the goal. So, you know, I guess in college football, what we've learned, you see it every year, is you never know what's going to happen. But we would like to name a starter and them play really well and never look back.
You've mentioned, just kind of heading through the spring and through the summer, we are finally seeing your scheme and your plan take place to where you'd like it to be. And you have, if I'm not mistaken, 3 sets of offensive linemen deep and kind of rotate. Can you just kind of speak to how important depth is with the football program this year?
Yeah, relative to the offensive line specifically, we inherited a program with 7 scholarship O-linemen. Now we have 17, 3 years later. Offensive line at our level is a developmental position. Wide receiver, if a kid can run and catch in high school, that usually transitions over pretty quickly into college. You saw that with Ty Mims last year. Running back transfers over. Cornerback transfers over. O-line, when they get to college, you're asking them to do things that a lot of them never did in high school. They may have ran the wing tee in high school. They may have ran the option in high school. They probably did very little true blue drop back pass protection where they had to ID fronts and set certain ways. Then they get to college and they've got 9 or 10 different pass protections. So it's a true developmental position. We feel like we've recruited well at that position for 3 years now, and we're seeing the reward of it. We finished last year, I think, rushing for over 300 yards in the last 2 games. Our top 7 linemen from that group are all back. Well, 6 of those top 7. And so we feel like we're definitely, this will be our best group we've laid out there up front in some time. And then practice is great, too, because all our D linemen are back, so they have to go against a great defensive front.
Talk about that defensive front, probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah, we feel like it's one of the best, non-autonomy group of 5, however you want to word it, D-lines in the country. They've been here with us. They're all back. We added to it through recruiting. And so there's tremendous competition every day just to start. We'll be able to roll them and play them. And we've got size, and we've got athleticism, and we think it's definitely a position of strength for us.
Do you feel like the secondary, obviously, Jason back, but some other players in the secondary kind of unproven position?
Yeah, I guess that's probably the most unproven position on our team outside of quarterback. But when you really dig deep and really look at it, when you talk about, at corner, you've got Michael Caraway and Brendan Tolles right there who played a ton of minutes for us. I mean, they were in the game in the 4th quarter versus Tulane when the money was on the table. So they rolled and played last year and pushed. Eric Scott and Natron Brooks are in the NFL now every day. So we think they're high-level young men. They're both going to be juniors, so they're older kids. And then you bring in a transfer like M.J. Daniels from George County, who's a highly recruited kid. You bring in Quez McNeil, and you've also got Jay Hampton right there, along with 2 young freshmen that are going to be really, really good players. So we feel like corner is talented. We've got a good mix of older and younger kids there. At safety, you start with Jay Stanley, who's been a high-level player for us for a long time. He's Southern Miss all the way, potential All-American, so that's a good place to start. And then you got Jay Jones returning. And, Jay was pushing Malik Shorts to start last year. He was pushing Malik every day, and he had an injury in the middle of the year that kind of pulled him out. So he's back. He's moving to the star position. Markel McLaurin's back at star. And then we bring in a transfer, Dylan Lawrence, who was one of the best players on our team this spring ball. So bringing Dylan in has been huge. He had Elijah Sabatini as a transfer, and then Cam Knox redshirted, and we're high on him too. So we feel like, again, it's a position where we've recruited well. We've got a good mix of older kids coming back as well as youth that's really talented. So I guess it is the most unproven position, but at the same point, I feel way better about it than I did some of our positions we've played with in the past.
So you mentioned that Natron Brooks and Eric Scott Jr. are now in the NFL, and you have 4 players that have signed from last year's team to the NFL. And I mean, I don't know if you saw, but yesterday or 2 days ago, Jason Brownlee made an insane catch. And there's been a lot of media buzz about these Southern Miss players. I mean, with Jason Brownlee performing well, and with Mike McCarthy singing Eric Scott Jr.'s praise at a press conference. How big is that for you, and how big is that for Southern Miss to see these names that we recognize from the Rock now going to the NFL and getting praise?
Yeah, I think it builds momentum in all facets. I think our fans love it. I think it helps us in recruiting. I think it helps our own current players to understand that if you work hard and do what Coach Ankar says, you can be developed and you can grow and you can make it to that level. And that's what Southern Miss has done forever, right? I mean, we've got over 125 draft picks, and I think 19 players have played in the Super Bowl and 2 NFL Hall of Famers. So it's been done before. And when we came here 3 years ago, we wanted to get back to doing what works here and get back to that. And those young men getting to that point certainly is a step in the right direction for us.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate you guys, man.
We got to go.
Okay.
Fair.
Thank you.
All right, so just kind of first off, like, how are y'all feeling entering Sunbelt Football Media Day? And how are you feeling headed into the season?
I'm feeling great, actually. It's supposed to be Frank Gore, so I'm supposed to, I'm filling in for him. I know all y'all wanted to see him, but I'm honored to be here.
Honored to be here as well. Ready for the season to start. Ready to take that next step.
What has it kind of been like to be able to rep in spring camp and some of these new quarterbacks coming through the roster? What has it kind of been like, the switch and the quarterback play this year?
It's really been pretty easy, actually. I mean, they came in and we just got working. I mean, after practice every day, we got some extra routes, And I mean, they're just good guys, so they're fun to be around. And I mean, I've been around a lot of quarterbacks, obviously, in my 6 years. So, I mean, really, they've made so many strides in spring ball to now. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do during the season.
Yeah, and so just kind of bouncing off of that, do you feel like the advancements and the betterment at quarterback will lead to you having an increased role in the offense?
I mean, with a better quarterback, they can feed the ball around everywhere. So hopefully everyone can eat in the offense. If we had Brownlee last year, so you just had to throw it up to him to create space. But we have a whole bunch of receivers. We actually have a lot of depth this year, which is something we haven't had in quite a while. So I mean, just spreading the ball around should open up the check down and the short passes to me. So I'm looking forward to it.
Jay, what has it kind of been like defending some of those quarterbacks in first year under Dan O'Brien? I know he's been there a couple of years, but just kind of what has him taking helm at the defensive coordinator position been like?
It's fun playing against those quarterbacks at practice, trying to pick up their tendencies, trying to see the ins and outs of their game. But it's been fun having Dan O.B. as defensive coordinator. Like you said, he was there last year, so it's pretty much the same in my eyes, but he got a bigger role, and I feel like the team gravitating towards him.
So, Jay, you were somebody who gave quarterbacks nightmares last season, and not to mention you were in the backfield with people like Eric Scott Jr. and Natron Brooks, both of whom now are in the NFL. How do you see your role changing now that you're going to be one of the only experienced guys in the backfield?
I just feel like I need to be my leadership role is going up. So I feel like in the back end, I got to be the one who make all the checks because those guys don't have much experience, but they do know the plays. So I had to just be that leader and be that comfort that everybody can come around when time get hard.
Yeah, and bouncing off of that, so like you mentioned, there's a lot of young guys. Can you give us a name or two of people that you think the Southern Miss fans are going to very, very quickly know very well back there?
Brendan Toes, Michael Caraway, Dylan Lawrence. I can add some offensive guys, Drake Clark, linebackers, the whole linebacker core. Just a whole lot of guys we got that can fill in and play.
Cole, just out of your couple of years here at Southern Miss, do you feel the strongest about the flow of the offensive practices this year other than the past few years?
Well, definitely, since it's year 3, everyone's getting more comfortable in the offense. I mean, it takes time, really. I mean, Coach Hall came in, he didn't have any of his recruits, he didn't have any of his guys. So, I mean, getting an influx of, his people and changing the culture and really getting people that want to play, want to be at school, working every day. It's definitely helped out a lot. The quarterbacks that we meet extra, we throw extra, we're just getting extra work in every day, which honestly, before then, we really didn't get much of. So that's definitely going to help the offense flow a lot more. We're old on offense, or getting older. So I think the wisdom that brings should definitely help us out this year.
And I know that, Sam Gregg, kind of the offensive mind, along with with Will Hall, but have you seen Will Hall kind of develop into an offensive role more than the past 2 years?
Well, definitely, but I mean, this year he's actually kind of looking at both offense and defense, so he's getting different perspectives on what offense is doing, what defense is doing, and Coach Joseph is kind of, I wouldn't say running the like he's kind of like running the offensive side. Coach Hall still calling plays, but he's able to like expand out and kind of have his hand over a lot of other things other than just, coaching quarterbacks. He's able to touch, hey, receivers, tight ends, linemen, So that's going to help us out a lot.
So what makes this year different from last year? What are some of the biggest changes that we can expect to see on the field? What are some things that have changed off the field, like the culture, the people? What are some of the biggest differences from last year to this?
Well, I mean, we can learn how to win, or we learned how to win last year, which, in the past few years we haven't won a lot. So just learning how to win again really helped us last year, which is going to, help us win games this year because we've been there before. We've been in a few overtimes at Liberty. We came down to the last drive in Coastal Carolina. Like we've had these different games that gave us experience to where we're not in the new of how to finish games now.
I want to agree on him saying we will finish ball games in the fourth quarter this year. Like he said, with that experience, most of our game came to the fourth quarter, and we were just one or two plays away from winning those games. So I feel like this year, the team, we got a camaraderie, everybody's close. So I feel like in the fourth quarter, we'll lean on each other instead of leaning away.
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
One fun question before we leave. All right. So it is you, and you can choose 3 people. You can choose 3 people. They can be coaches, teammates, whoever. All right? But it's you and those 3 people. Zombie apocalypse scenario. Who are you choosing, and why? And how long you think you're going to make it?
I'm going, one would be Bryson Mays, just because, he's an outdoor. He likes to go shoot guns at the range and stuff. So definitely him's one. I don't know, that's hard. Probably maybe Matt Riles because of the comedic relief. And, you kind of need comedy to be in a zombie apocalypse. And 3, I can't go with a fast guy because if, the zombies are running, I got to outrun them. So I got to go another big guy. No, I think I'm going to go Jerquan. I'm going to go Jerquan Scott. And those, I don't know if we'd last long, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go with MJ Daniels, big hunting guy. So I feel like he's going to have some aim. Maybe Bryce Ramsey, big guy. He's going to protect us. He's going to block the zombies off. And I'd say Jaleel Clement, just because he got a crazy mind. He'll think of something to get us up out of there. He'll think of something to get us up out of there.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all. That's 6 good ones.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. Jaleel.